This is your 20-minute podcast, where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
You're listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower. I want to welcome my guest, Anmol Singh, talking to him today from New York City. And greetings, Anmol. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Good. You're very welcome. So LiveTraders.com is a collaboration between you and Jared Wesley, and your goal, it looks like, is to build a trading community of traders, for traders, and of course, by traders. And most of your clients come through word of mouth, which says a lot. So what does that mean? Traders, for traders, by traders?
Well, the reason why we put that in there is because there's an influx of trading education websites. There's an influx of people providing trading education services, but necessarily they might not be traders. They might have traded in the past a little bit, or they might have been just people who are good at marketing, but not necessarily trading. So what we try and do is we are traders first. We were always traders first, and now we're getting into this education space as a business. So we still trade every single day actively, and I think that's really important for people looking to learn how to trade.
And by trade, you mean specifically stocks?
Could be anything.
Basic, right?
Could be trading stocks, Could be trading currencies, which is the foreign exchange.
Right.
So, could be trading anything. Could be trading commodities, oil, gold, silver.
So your business is, you access or have access to trades of all different kinds from all over the world, right?
Exactly. So we can trade any instrument that has a technical chart available, because we're trading based on technical chart strategies. So as long as it has a chart available, which most of the things do, we're able to trade it. However, we specifically specialize in the U.S. stock market and the foreign exchange currency markets.
So if somebody is just kind of thinking in their head, I've always wanted to trade, or I'm kind of a weekend trader but don't really know what I'm doing, are those the kind of people that should be looking out to you?
So I think first thing people need to do is, figure out what kind of trading are you going to do, because there's several different ways to be involved with the market. Some of the members that I know, they have a job. They have a day job. They do their thing, and they might come home at night. They might look at some of the stocks, what they did, and then they might put out orders in their brokers, right, based on what they learned. And then they go about their work, and the broker will automatically handle, their orders or things of that nature. So that's one way to trade. And in that approach, we call it swing trading, where you're not necessarily getting in and out every single day. You're getting in, you might be holding it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, and then you sell it. So that sort of trading doesn't involve a whole lot of work. As long as you have 15 minutes, 10 minutes a day to do a little homework, that should be good enough. But then there's a different type of people who want to do this as a career. They don't have a job, or if this is all they want to do full time, then we day trade. But for that, you would need to have at least a good 3 hours in the morning, from 8:30 till 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. As long as you have that time, then you can day trade. So those are the two ways. People first need to decide which kind of trader they want to be. Do they just want to take control of their investments and do this alongside what they currently do, or do they want to fully get into this? That's what they have to figure out first.
And once they make that decision, then your opportunity with them is to coach them, help them do it the right way, correct?
Exactly. So the first thing they would need to do once they've figured out what kind of trading they want to do, or even if they have not yet figured out, is we offer a free 15-minute consultation where they can dial the number on the website, and one of my team members, maybe even my partner, Jared Wesley, will speak to you for about 50 minutes, get to know you a little bit, and then suggest, what is the right way for you. And a lot of times you'll be surprised when people call us. We just tell them, hey, you know what? Based on what we've learned by talking to you, it might not be the right thing for you at the moment, So I suggest either saving up some capital for the time being, or, looking elsewhere, because, we determined that your skill set might not be the best suited for what kind of trading we do. So that's important, the 15-minute call. So first find out either whether this is even for you. And then we have great resources on the website. We have some great educational blog posts and even a free ebook that we wrote which will give you a good insight of trading, how the markets work, and whether if this is something you should get involved with.
And how long have you and Jared been doing this?
So we've been trading for a long time. Jared's been trading for about 11 years, and I've been trading for 6 years. But Live Traders, we only started 2 years ago in 2015. I think 7th Jan 2015 is when we started. So before we started Live Traders, we were just trading on our own, managing our own accounts, and there was another educational firm that we coached their traders, and we all ran a live trading environment where we used to just trade in front of all the members, and they used to just watch us trade or jump on board what we were trading. So that's the services we ran in the past, and then we decided, hey, why not just do our own thing? Let's start something of our own, and that's when in 2015 we got together and we started Live Traders.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
One of the things I'm impressed by, what you said just a moment ago, is your respect for the people who call you, your authenticity about being honest with them and just not trying to pull somebody into the game, to be really objective about where they are, who they are, and what the potential of them having success is before you welcome them on board, right?
Exactly, because one of our business models is not necessarily, we don't necessarily focus on creating income in Live Traders by just selling courses or programs. We have a hedge fund part of our business, which is when we teach these traders how to trade, and once they start getting to a good level, we actually provide them the capital. So we give them our funds allocated out of our capital and give it to them to trade. In exchange, we take percentage off whatever they make, just as a hedge fund. So we back them with our capital after training them. So for us, when it's much better to turn a person off and say, hey, this is not the right thing for you, rather than spending time, coaching him and then, wasting our time. So that's why we try and attract talent, that has potential to do this. But as long as, people have an open mind and a willingness to learn, they could really do it. And anybody could really do it. It's just the mindset that we look for in that initial call.
Well, and there's a difference between talk and commitment too. And once you feel their pulse and kind of get a sense that, because you're investing your money in these people, so you're obviously going to vet them thoroughly as best as you can in 15 minutes, right?
Exactly, and that's all we try to do in the call, is just to get a feel of what kind of time commitment they'll be able to give, and are they a person with a growth mindset, which is, because trading is a roller coaster at times, and you will go through tough times, every single week you will go through them. So you have to be able to be strong enough of a person to realize that. So we're basically just judging the personality in the initial call.
So you've coached, over 1,000 traders and entrepreneurs in the last couple of years?
Yeah, as far as formally, in terms of people who've taken our programs, there have been thousands of students who've gone through our programs. But then informally, which is through social media and through posts, I'm sure I've coached tens of thousands of people just based on the followers that we have on social media. But formally, we've coached over 1,000 people as well.
Wow, that's impressive in such a short period of time. So how do you manage your time and run those businesses, and how do you help entrepreneurs start their own business?
I just don't sleep.
Good answer.
Actually, I'm kidding. I sleep well. Yeah, I think that's important. And one of the things people always seem to say is, don't sleep, or sleep is overrated. But you got to sleep. If you haven't slept, it's just going to be hard to put that energy. I'd rather put 10 good hours in of hardcore focused work than 20 hours of half 50% effort. So the way I manage my time, I don't really have a time management tool that I follow. All I do is when I wake up, I just figure out the tasks that I want to get accomplished, and they could just be as much as, hey, I got to go hit the gym today, or I got to go eat healthy today, or I have to do these errands today, or I got to do that today, or I got to complete this by today. So there's no formal way of me managing it. All I literally do is I wake up, and then the first thing that goes through my mind is, what are the things I want to get accomplished today? And then I just make sure that I do those things. So you set out goals in the morning, and you make sure you do them, and try and do them as early as you can. So I never waste time in the morning just sitting or watching TV or planning what to do. first thing I do is I just knock out all the tasks that I thought about in the morning, and then I could figure out what else I want to do.
Well, I do exactly the same thing. And sometimes, if I'm lucky, I go to bed about 10:30, I suppose, and get up about 5:30. But oftentimes I'll wake up at 4 because that list will already be there going, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I'll get up at 4 and just go out and rattle off that list and make sure things are done and productive. And then all of a sudden my day's in motion,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of the things I have to work towards is try and get in a little bit earlier so I can focus on some other areas of my life, meditation or even just getting that workout in early in the morning, get it over with. Because as the day goes by, you start to lose motivation. So if you just knock them out in the morning, then it's done.
Well, and one of the things that comes through in our conversation, I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's sometimes big money involved, big investments, a lot of concentration, good decisions have to be made. And so to be able to get into that kind of a place, obviously you have to eat well, exercise well, sleep well, so that you're at your best when you're working between 8:30 and noon.
Exactly. You have to be at your best in the morning. That's where you need the most of the focus during that 9:30 to 10 o'clock time. That's the most busiest hour for us because that's when the market opens and bulk of our trading is done in the first 30 minutes. So that's kind of the power hour where we definitely need our full focus in there. You're slacking one day, it doesn't pan out that well then.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. When you're working with companies and involved with education and finance and investments, social media, even real estate, I mean, you got your toes in a lot of different things here, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean that was one of the things that I learned from my family and also other mentors that I've had along the way is to just when you get some money in, just put it in somewhere else. Just keep putting it somewhere else. So that's one of the things that I did is when I got the trading thing down, I got the capital, I bought a property, or I took that money, started Live Traders, or I took that money, maybe I had some idea about a social media app, hired a programmer, let's build this out. So, that's something that I constantly do. And that's one of the biggest proponents. I'm one of the biggest proponents of that is to when you have some cash, don't spend it, just put it somewhere else, put it back into the business, reinvest it somewhere. You're going to get some sort of return, even if it's, as much as putting it in a fixed deposit or just do something with that capital, get some return out of it.
So when you get that capital available, is there a certain percentage, or how do you figure what you're going to throw back into all these different ideas and what you're going to set aside? How do you figure that?
Right. So first thing I do before I even have the money is to figure out if I had the money, what would I do? Right. So you set your goals beforehand. So you say, all right, when I started trading, I was thinking, all right, what if I can make $200,000 in my first year? What can I do with that money? And then I found a property. I was like, this property is available. Seems like if I rent it out, I can get 10% on it. After hiring a property management company, I might get 8% on it. So I already planned it out. And once I made that first kind of check that I got from trading, I immediately just put a down payment on it. I mean, you can put 10-20% down. You don't need a whole lot of money. The rest you can finance and pay along the way. And that's how I started. But one of the rules that I do have, which is a fixed one, is 10% of everything that I make goes right back into my own education. That could be attending networking events. That could be attending conferences. That could be attending conventions. That could be attending, maybe I want to hear somebody speak that I like, or maybe even just buying an online course. Maybe I want to learn how this social media thing works, right? Spend some money, buy a course, learn how to do it. So that's one of the things that I always do. 10% of everything I make in a month has to, go right back into some form of education.
I like that. I'm writing that down, actually. I kind of do that hit and miss, but having a plan like that, I think that's brilliant. It keeps you focused and keep you growing and learning, and that's what we all got to do no matter what kind of business we have.
Exactly, and 10% is a good amount. You can get a lot of books out of that. You can get a lot of courses out of that. I mean, whatever you want to learn. There's everything you want to learn in this world exists online. And
isn't that fascinating how the world has changed so much in the last 10 years as far as that? It's kind of mind-boggling, really.
Exactly. I mean, even if you want to learn about something that is not even proven, aliens, right?
Right,
You can buy courses or DVDs about that. I mean, there's just so much to learn that I don't know how people get bored. They're just so fascinating. There's always something more to learn.
So do you and Jared put on seminars and go out and speak and teach in public and do the kinds of things that you're talking about learning?
Well, not really. We haven't really done that yet, but that's something definitely that we do intend to do in the future. At the moment, we are doing mainly online through webinars and through even live streaming. So we might have a live, we're in the office, we're just streaming live video, going over that. So we do a lot of those things. We did hold a live event last year in July, which was a live trading event where we took 7 students for a whole week with us in our office right on Wall Street above the stock exchange. And we all traded together for the full week. And that was a great experience for people because they got to see me trade live in front of them, right, and show them how to do it. And they got to see me being up money. They got to see me being down money. And I think that was the biggest learning experience for them to see, all right, this guy's down, but he doesn't look like he's crazy. He's enjoying the process. And then they saw me make it back, and then they saw me come back, and now I'm, making money. And that was the best learning environment for them. So that live event was great. We're definitely going to do another one this year. We haven't planned it out, but maybe in California this time around. So we're going to have like one live event a year because we like to take small groups of 5-7 people. Because I think trading is one of those things where, if you have a big crowd, 200, 300 people, you can't really learn, in that environment. You got to have small environment where people can just stand behind you, watch you trade. And I think that's the environment we're going to go for.
That's great, man. And then you've got 3 online courses that people can sign up for?
We have actually plenty of courses. For stocks, we have 3 courses, basic, intermediate, advanced. And then for Forex, which is currencies, we have 2 courses, which is the basic one, which is just letting you know what currencies is, how it works, how to trade it. And then we have the advanced one, which is the actually getting into the technical strategies and different parts of the things. And then for some people who want to learn options, we have options courses. So that's kind of how the education lineup is.
So if people want to learn more, the place they've got to go is livetraders.com, right?
Yeah, that's correct. If they head on over to the website, they'll be able to download the free ebook, read the blog post, and there's a number on the site they can call to have their 50-minute consultation. Apart from that, our social media pages are great. I mean, we update them regularly with some really good content. So I think that's a place people should definitely head on.
And the links, of course, on those are on your website as well, so it's easy for them to find all the different content as well as the 15-minute call as well as the different courses.
That's correct.
Okay. Again, livetraders.com. Anmol Singh from New York City, Wall Street. Enjoying the nice weather in New York City today.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower and our special guest, Anmol Singh from livetraders.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/your 20-minute podcast.
Until next time, don't forget to download your free audiobook at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. That's audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast for your free audiobook. And thanks for listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower.